Look how they live in luxury while our African people, them suffer us. How you strategize all your lies, it's our blood, sweat and tears that built your empire. The system was designed for I and I to never rise, only bleed to fulfill your desires. I was born with both hands on my heart from Mama Africa.
The time for liberation, Mama Africa awaits a revolution. This is the time for meditation. Free up your mind from the lies and illusions. This is the time for liberation. Come make we stand up and start a revolution. In these are times of elevation, have you keep your head above all pollution. Revolution in the air, my people prepare. No more African children, not to shed no tear. Full time be aware, Babylon no sincere after all. Who are send the guns them out here? Spiritual warfare, they may rage on the people like they don't care. The world we live in is unfair, yet a victim mentality won't take us nowhere.
Blessed love, you're tuned in to the African Liberation Network, and we are here with Honorable Beriso Babo, also known as Honorable Priest Paul of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. My Lord, how is the eye?
Well, giving thanks, my Lord, once more, for the angel reaching out to I and I still, to make I and I voice to be heard at the international scene again still, Yeah, give thanks, life and love, of the Father Most High who keep I and I from that time until this time, Rastafari.
Rastafari. So, yes, give thanks for the eye presence here with us on the African Liberation Network. It's always a joy to reason with the eye and hear the eye perspective as one who has repatriated, and I would say successfully, in the sense that the eye is, a part of the society in Africa and not a separate entity. I see that as the ultimate mission of I&I, to move to Africa and to become a part of African culture and villages and societies, integrated, and not segregated, and to also be an upliftment to the people. And, we have seen and heard that the eye has written a book since the eye has been in Ethiopia. Can you tell us the name of the book and just a little bit about what the book is about, please?
Far and foremost, I'd love to say, Baganega Duftani, Kabajampota, Umata, Negenya Fichalala. Welcome, excellent people, peace and love to one and all.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes, I give thanks. The book we're reading is still entitled Our Mission.
Yes, and can you just explain a little bit?
Yeah, when we use the phrase our was in that mission within I&I, the acknowledgement of it, that I&I could have really entitled it with that name still.
Yes, Can you just tell us a little bit of what the book is about and what it entails?
Yeah, well, what's really about still is I life experience, living in the garrison zone from where childhood, and from repatriating to the Bobo Shanti Association, Churchical Association, and from then to Ethiopia. The works and achievement and the leadership role that I did display within Ethiopia still, Yeah. That's the fullness side still. Yeah.
True. And what meditation brought the eye to writing this book?
Well, Iman was a writer from even younger days. Iman did love write still, Mm-hmm. Yeah, because writing to me when we even go to school was something where it really was imperative to I&I still. But what really inspired I&I still was a brethren who passed through from California, visiting Shashaman, the elders, them and things like that still. And after hearing about I&I works and achievements, the stride where we have made within the community, with the local administration and things, then him reach out to Iman and was even encouraged I man to say, well then, you know, yeah, I could have write them experience and even write even the history, my past and things like that still. So in igniting the fire there within I still, me I say for real, you know, as me I say, true me is a man who did love really did right and things like that still, you know. So from there on, I man just take it up now and say, well then, yes, good, a good inspiration. So from there, I man did really start writing still.
Okay.
But basically, it's from my man, younger days coming up as I said, living in the garrison, within the garrison zones in a Kingston, you know, and then from there on, reaching after we come to the cognizance of ourselves now, the life within I, want to go live up within I self. Repatriate to Bobo Shantil and from there on to Ethiopia and the works and the achievements and I really and leadership role because that was essential within the community still, you know.
Yes, my lord. Yeah. And so when you knew, like when you had been told that you were going to be sent on a mission to Ethiopia with the delegation in 92 or maybe it was 91 when you found out, I don't know, but whenever you found out that this is okay, true, my lord. So when you knew that you were going to be going to Ethiopia, what kind of thoughts did you have, and how did you feel? Like, were you nervous or anything like that?
Well, it's like from day one, still from 1978. When I man become cognizant of Rastafari life still and liberty and things like that, I man did always I tell I family members and friends them who and I really say I man a go Ethiopia, Africa. Yeah, I man a go for Africa because Rasta vision and fulfillment was to return forward to Africa in general, you know. So when I was called upon still, I'll do the mission. Once was going, the mission did start from 91 going to Nigeria and Ghana. It's like I man still never see I man self did really not really make that move there. It was always in the eye. So when we get the call still to say, well then, yes, we, you know, yeah, we felt good, you know, for knowing that yeah, we are going to Africa, I don't know, to go fulfill a mission, because man is delegate for God. So for knowing that the Almighty did really choose I and I within the fulfillment of the priest, you know. Yeah, I man it felt really highly for say well then, we could have get chosen freely to fulfill that work there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, King. And
so yeah.
Like so, okay. So it wasn't outside of what you already had envisioned for the self. It's just a continuance of the original mission of repatriation. So, what, like in your mind though, did you have any like preconceived notions or things that you had heard, or you know, things that you might have just like, you know, thought on your own, like what expectations as far as like what did you think Ethiopia was going to be like, and compare that now with what actually when you arrived there and stayed there for a while, was what you thought accurate with what you experienced, or and if so, like just kind of tell us like, you know, what kind of things you thought about Ethiopia before you got there, and actually what was the reality once you reached there, please.
Well, as me say, from them days, I know a chance for say, well, would have been in Africa, because me I say, if 1983, we are say, well, then Africa, we have a music in the West where I tell us in 1983, Africa is to be free. So even from them time, the listening all the music there, I it's an inspiration was towards Africa, you know. So really, I coming forward, you know, I expectation to see well then, how we was living in the life, the spiritual life where we that live, the discipline of the mind, as where the Majesty says, the basic ingredients, man. You know, so I and I did really see in ourselves that I know it's like leaving from there. So it's like at the King Palace, I and I would have really go reside, you know. But coming forward, it wasn't that fulfillment of the expectation. So well then at the King Palace we are living because when we come here and we see it was just the overthrow of the military regime. So it was a transitional government that really led the country at that time, come from the north, you know. And them people, you know, and them the domineer even the King Palace and things like that. So it's like a vision they were really have. You never even think so well then we did really want money to come in at the land. You see it? So the expectation of even that for say, well, we never even want money for even coming out of the land. It wasn't that fulfillment, you know. So along the way, as you say, well, then it's like even some of the concept around say, well, then where we that hear about Ethiopia and we that were going at the palace and things like that. That was just a illusion because the palace was dominated by the military transitional government. So no one could have really even go to the palace, you know. And then even as well, then we never even want money for really even coming out of the land, you know. That was even also an illusion again still because you see so well then the monetary system and the economical system it called for finance, you know. So those things was totally like it was an illusion. To I and I still for sister well then we are left one earthly kingdom to come in our next earthly kingdom. Then we know so well then what we see in that kingdom there are the same thing we'll see in the next kingdom. Even the fulfillments of righteousness where we did really was looking at. But when we come on like Monday, we know Monday was a day of fasting amongst ourselves where we used to clad ourselves in whites. Yeah, when I and I come, we see that fulfillment. So it was like, oh yes, it's like the life I was living a year, so it really come from same way, you know? Yeah, so those was a fulfillment still of part of I and I expectation, and there was also another part where wasn't a fulfillment of the expectation, you know?
Yes.
So we just give thanks still for the days because through the days, the length of days and months and years we go by, we understand that being in Ethiopia itself is like we are living at the King Palace. Because even right now, which part I man live right now, I man live just next door to the King Palace in a Wandogenet, where the tell we have a favorite chai where the king really where him use. And even that I find so now, even today I take a sip of that tea. So it wasn't even a mistake about that again because my sister right now, where I reside right now is just a stone throw. Me can't stand up on my veranda and looking at the king in the King Palace ground, my lord. So it's still fulfilled, you know?
Okay. Just took a little time. It took some time to get to that level, but it did manifest. So give thanks for that.
Yes, it's still fulfilled because me say right now where me residing right now, because make me domicile right now. The King Palace is like I'm back. It's like at the King Palace I'm on there where me say me can stand up now and leave my veranda and I look inside of the King Palace garden. So it's like that still fulfilled to me still for sure. Me say well then the vision when me that say me that living at the King, me that living at the King Palace. It's like me see it fulfilled still I'll do me not really inside of the house fully, but me in at the palace, in at the Ethiopia.
Yes, give thanks. So there was a little bit of kind of like a fantasy. As I mean, as Rastafari, we kind of in our explanation or our reasoning around repatriation. Generally, I think we have a kind of, I don't want to say fantasy, but like you said, an illusion of what we think. Yeah, what we think Africa is like. What you say? What you say, King?
No, me I say it's like an illusion when we talk about repatriation because it's both spiritually and physically. Yeah.
Yes,
Cause
sir.
one first have to repatriate himself from maybe the surrounding, the life, and maybe where am I living at, maybe good or bad. And he have to repatriate himself from that, which is a spiritual form of repatriation that also. Now the physical repatriation now is when one leave from a next point to another point. You know?
Mm-hmm.
We speak about Africa over the years and things like that still, but enough illusion about Africa. We have still in our mindset still, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's why I wanted to ask those type of questions, because from, you know, your own actual experience, you can help to kind of get rid of some of the illusion from our minds for those of us who have not yet been able to even visit Africa, much less live in Africa for any time. Because even visiting, you know, for me to go like to stay for a week or two is not the same as committing to say that I'm going to move, say, my family and to live in a place. That's a totally different reality. Like, it's the difference between like a vacation and migrating to another place is not exactly the same as, you know. So give thanks for that reasoning. And the next question, are there any common misconceptions amongst in the minds of the Africans in the diaspora regarding what it will be like to actually repatriate, to like live in Africa? And if so, what are they? Like, what, you know, amongst the brethren and sisters that you've reasoned with, what do you find is common that most Rasta think that it's going to be like this and actually it's like something different?
Well, the misconception where man see even just since time and even being in Africa, being in even the community, the Rastafarian community. The mindset of the people are the ones in the diaspora. When we say them, when we think about Africa and think and have vision to say, well, yeah, we want to come in Africa, but many of us maybe no vision or no agenda what we are coming to Africa to come do. Some of us maybe just an individual, just on an individual base who are coming to Africa to come and say, well, then we establish a house. Mainly like, for example, the land where really was granted to the diaspora in 1940, that's where them really say. Many ones who make the track really come to Ethiopia are just about the land. Him not come for say, well then boy, him want to really integrate with the wider society of the Ethiopian society. It's just about the land. And the land still there, the land still now move. And the concept within the mindset about it, even that. That's totally a destructive element. Because the Majesty said when God give a land, him never give it to us if we misuse it. Him give it to us for utilize it. And it's like we misuse even that given point which was given to us. So it was still a misconception about even the land. The land need development. The land not just need we are come build a house, build a big wall and things like that. No. It need infrastructure. We need economical base to empower ourselves as a people. And doing all of these things to empower ourselves as a people. We got it more flexible. We got it more understanding around the society. Because coming to Africa for say we are come live in Africa, we just couldn't come in Africa for say we want to come live among just ourselves, just Rasta, and an African. The next misconception is about, yes, before we reach even Africa, we used to say we are Ethiopians out there. Now Mr. Ones really come here. Them are not Ethiopian again. Me no see them want no Ethiopian citizenship. Me no hear them even lobby around even these things. Them all on the same colonialism of American citizens, English citizens, and all of these things. Cause pre-adventure, certain things really happen, really are going on. The first place them people are run go. Them are run go to the American embassy. Them are run go to English embassy when what? You say you come home. You come home and if there's a conflict or a misunderstanding rise within the community among ourselves, we should have go to a counterpart, which is the Ethiopians authority, for them try to resolve whatever problem we have. So this is the concept when we see many individuals who come from the diaspora come in Ethiopia, Shashamani, and really portray. It's like the British Embassy and the American Embassy is like them still have a vanguard. We still have them concept there within way. So these are the things that they know ones have to really analyze what really come into Africa to do. I could ask yourself even them question there. Where we are coming even Africa to come do. You know, so for real, this is a serious misconception among the diaspora and community which is coming here, my lad. The mindset is destructive to yourself and to the wider community.
Yes, I.
You know, so for me, it very ticklish because as I say, me being here and me see so many misunderstanding may arise between ourselves and maybe the native because of maybe language barrier also and cultural barriers. But then instead of reach out even to the wider for really try to bridge the gap or whatever may I say, we are run go British embassy, we are run go American embassy to say, to really them for resolve the problem North African, my lad. So to me not see that not really look like really I come home.
Yes, I. So what can a one who has really no real, like say for me, for instance, I've never been to Africa, so I don't really know at all what it's like other than what I see on videos or hear from someone who lives there or whatever. So what is it that I could do to really prepare myself without any, real contact on the land? How could I prepare myself mentally and physically, for a successful repatriation or migration to Africa?
Well, as me I say, we have to come with clean hands and pure heart, my lad. The illusion thinking and the misconception within yourself, like the colonial system. Because we always maybe say I blame the colonial system still, but ourselves need to really, prepare yourself like I say, when me I come. I'm gonna come for say, well then, I want to come live in Africa, I want to come work. I want to come integrate myself within the wider society so that them can understand me and me understand them. And this is how we're supposed to prepare ourselves coming to Africa now. I'm supposed to shell off certain little thinking of how me really that think and maybe how me that move. Only if you say, well then now, the people when we live among now, as the Majesty said, we should live then so that we can understand them and them understand we, so we can have a better understanding in doing what we are doing among ourselves. But too much of the derogative kind of attitude in the mind and the self still like me better than you are, me I come from the West and because for me, I man never run go to no British or no Jamaican or none of them embassy to defend me, my lad. Whatever problem arise with I man since I man being here, and still I man never see the people them dealt with me like what people say go on with them. I man never really got to know British embassy or not to go make no complain about Ethiopia and about what's happening. No. I always go to the authority, the Ethiopian authority to address my problem and it address. It address. So for once to come in here to come in Africa, we need to have a saying, yeah, we are come home there now. Yes, that is gone bad inside here, see me. But is we have to just know how we make them strength nine man around the church or whatever. Here we may say Africa no need them things right now, as the Majesty did say. He said send the right people. Marcus Garvey said good Negroes, Africa no really need him. So for me, you wanna come to Africa, you can't come with those kind of attitude for say we want to come display gangsterism. They already. So all we have to leave outside us if we say we come in here on a spiritual journey, and then now and that we end up one display among the people, among the young people them, when it amongst them same way still. So you come with it because we see them come on a man a declare about even Gaza where no one ever even display even all them kind of sound in a Shashamane. And it's individuals from the West who come here and display them rude boy kind of vibration. They when that really we should have really come in Africa to come display among fellow Africans them. You know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for the I really say, well then you're looking forward to say coming in Africa. Yeah, you have to just have a good mindset, my lad, knowing that, you'd really love to come settle them, establish a domicile in Africa, Ethiopia, and for really help develop and economically, even to establish economical base so we can empower ourselves. Yes. These are the things where we have to really come with a mindset with my lad.
Same, give thanks. Yes, I.
Yeah.
So, yes, the reality of repatriation is not as pretty as the fantasy, you know. The way we have it in our minds doesn't exactly match what we actually would experience when we reach there. So, you know, the I sharing this is really, hopefully, it's definitely helpful to I-Man, but I hope that also it can be a benefit to ones who are listening, you know, because once we go in the name of Rastafari and disgrace ourselves and shame ourselves with bad behavior, it makes a lasting impression on the population to where, you know, it can ruin the experience for someone who comes behind or one who comes with a messed up mentality, you know, whether it be, you know, like you said, a gangster kind of vibe or a lazy kind of I'm retired kind of vibe, or, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, we have to come ready to, we understand that Africa awaits its creators. It doesn't wait for vacation.
Rastafari.
Yeah, we have to come willing to when we unpack our bags, we're ready to work, you know, we're not ready to go and
Rastafari.
sit down. Yes. So,
you know, the priest said to I prayed in my lad. The priest said one time to I and I, you know, him say, when I and I reach in Africa, every man have to find themselves doing something. It's maybe only him. It's maybe only him say, me not really do something, but everyone have to find themselves doing something. So coming to Africa, knowing that because when I and I come here and even reach Shashamane, the communication between I and the Congress was not good. It did lack off from my man. And I man get a little change, and where I man buy some material, some leather, at the big market in Addis Ababa, buy up some leather and things like that. I'm start make my sandal. To me did have a knowledge of it still. And I eat it really help I man till can really make the way fully for I man that time man could have stand up on my foot more solid. You see?
yes.
By building sandal. So once really when them come, them, you know, because this is where me I say we believe some of our people, them come and them not really want to work. It's like it's a handout thing we are look for. When if collectively we really organize ourselves, we really say, because building a community, we need the international community also, cooperation. But not really say, well, then is a handout thing we are look on to say one really, we are wait on the West really help here. And that we see really a reach right now on,
Yes, my Lord. In an interview that I did with iJah Stars, you know, shout big up to iJah Stars. I heard the I say something in the wise of that King Emmanuel had come to the realization and shared it with the I that the concept of waiting on boats to come to be sent by our same colonizers is not really a practical approach. Am I correct in saying that? Is that what you said? And if so, can you explain?
No, it wasn't him say, well then the time come no like was we him a wait on boat. But him a say, well then you know the moment come when we should have prepare ourselves you know for really go through the migration scheme. Yeah, for really reach Africa. So brethren within America and within England or whichever them did you know still, you know, should have prepared themselves for really track through the migration scheme there till the passage of time. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
To go establish yourself in Africa.
True. So yes, give thanks. It helps. It helps us to get over certain, not even to say misconception, because it's not a misconception, but the fact is that we shouldn't wait. If we have the opportunity and we're capable, we should do our best to get to Africa. We should not say we're going to stay here and wait for something else to come. Yeah, so you know, all of this is really just to help ones to remove certain cloudy kind of conceptions that we might have, you know. So with that being said, now, if there was anything that you could do, if you could, you know, travel back in time, but keep the wisdom that you've gained from the experience of living in Africa, in Shashamani. If you could go, well, not Shashamani, but you say you live in Wando Gannett, but if you could travel in time with the same mind that you have now, if there was anything that you could do differently to either prepare yourself to move to Ethiopia or once you got to Ethiopia, what would you do differently? Mm-hmm.
Well, with 1-4 still, with 1-4 still from Shash, because of the still, you know, so we still, because as we say, yes, we may pull up from there and, you know, just looking at the reality. Even yesterday I was there and I meet the commander, the police commander police where is newly come there. And a man who know I man still call me and introduce me, another police officer call me and introduce me to him and then he was asking me about Wando, and him turn around the same time after him I was saying, this is the man where him here where we live and the man I tell him, yeah. So in reality, I was looking even upon it even last night and I said, look, it's like I was there over the years doing so much and yet still a recognition where since me really come out, it's partially everyone since me come out now, if them can't see, So we still there in a Shash still. But only through the negative energy we really flow in a Shash is like the Rasta vibes and they so again much. And it's hypocrisy. The brotherhood not really dead so. You know?
Yes, my lord.
Yeah, no brotherhood, no love, no really exist there among ourselves within the community, my lord. Just hatred and jealousy and arrogance displaying at the community among ourselves, my lord.
That's unfortunate. It's a shame, really.
I tell you,
Such a gift.
This would make one of the reasons. This is make one of the reasons make I man come out from there. Because me see the behavior where I man see a display there, it no represent I and I no represent it.
Yes, my lord. So yeah, the question still is, you know, if you could do anything differently, knowing what you know now, with your whole experience in moving from Jamaica to Ethiopia, what would you, if you could, you know what I mean, travel in time, what would you do differently to make your experience better? If there's anything, maybe you wouldn't do anything differently. I don't know.
Well, where I'm now, where I've achieved, my lad, is very honorable and respectful to Iman life, my lad. Where the only thing where Iman find Iman that really would I do differently right now is to try change the mindset of my fellow brethren and sisters within the human community, their mindset, because it is destructive to both the wider community and to the near community. You know, so that's the only thing we see right now. Yeah, more stride to really be a better person, same way within myself, and you know, because me see the mindset of where we come here with, it's very destructive, my lad. And we think say something good. We hold on upon a derogative kind of mindset, a selfish kind of thing, a arrogancy kind of thing in our mind, which for me, I grew up in a garrison as a youth, and yeah, me learn certain ways, me learn certain things. But me see the passage of time, me have to shell off these things off for I and I for me to really be something, you know.
Yes, I.
I'm a find say this are the mindset when me see say we still hold on and being coming to Ethiopia, coming, we see fellow brethren and sisters, we still hold on this kind of arrogance, kind of attitude. Everything is just vexation of spirit, and you know, some kind of when we feel more calm in ourselves to deal with the situation.
Yes. It's deep, you know, really, because, you know, I'm thinking about it as you reason. I'm like, you know, for someone, say, who's still in the garrison, you know, in that kind of environment, for them to really purge themselves of those ways is almost impossible unless they separate themselves from that type of environment. And even once they separate, like I did, you know, you left Kingston and you went to Bobo Hill, which is a purging ground for us to make ourselves right before repatriation. It's still, I mean, you know, it does, just because you move to Bobo Hill, as not I personally, but anyone, if you move to Bobo Hill, it doesn't mean, you know, necessarily that you're going to get out all of your bad ways. I mean, you try to, but there's still things that you haven't experienced that you can't really plan for, you know? So it's like a balance of holding on to what you know to be right, and also leaving your cup half full so that when you go to a new place to experience something different, you still have the ability to learn and adapt and not be too rigid to where you're holding on to what you thought before you move, you know? So, yeah, with that being said, my Lord, I give thanks for all that you shared regarding your experience in repatriation and helping us to get a clearer understanding of what it is that we can do to make ourselves ready to make such a move, because we Rastafari cannot be like the Zionists, what they call Jews, to just go and take over a place and kick out the original inhabitants, and you know, go because we feel like we're the Israelites and you know everybody else is just Gentiles or whatever mentality we have. That's not practical, you know. So it's very helpful, you know, to get the eyes perspective. And if there's anything else that you would like to share regarding repatriation and living in Africa with the community that's listening, that you think might be helpful to avoid us shaming ourselves and shaming our Father, you know, what is it that you have that, you know, any wisdom that you can share with I and I, my Lord?
Well, give thanks again, as me say, for the angel. You know, the Father used the eye again to really reach out to I and I, to really bring I and I voice to the international scene again, still, as me say, you know. We need to readjust ourselves again still, because as Marcus Garvey said, arrogance bear the burden and intelligence rule the world. Mm-hmm. And mankind will not only be judged by the wealth when possessed, but by the wealth of his knowledge. And where intelligence is concerned in this life, is the man with the eloquent intelligence who domineers the affairs of life. You see it? So, to me, we need to readjust ourselves, talking about repatriation and coming to Africa. But we need to really have a unified voice among ourselves, a unified body, organizing ourselves in a more amicable way. If it's not, say, a bulk, even an individual or two who say them are repatriate, it really come. Them can come with a more steady mentality. So we are come there now for really a fact-finding mission to see where we can do, where we can implement. We need to really come with a better understanding now. Oh, we have a repatriate ourselves physically. individually, to establish yourself in our Father's land again, my Lord. You know? So, I man give thanks to the energy and the strength still with the Father really impart with I and I over the days and the weeks and the months, because it take time still, as the I say. Because even from them days there, as a young man, we still does seek to pursue righteousness, you know. So going to Boboil as the I really earlier on, I say, yeah, if that really in our one to really say, then it's like him now go really purge himself from that arrogant ways or whatever ways, my lord. So it's something we want to build within oneself. So well then, yeah, me need to change my lifestyle. Me need to change maybe or me react to things or whatever. And we have a better understanding, my lord. So these are the when we love to share with my fellow brethren and sisters. We can't do it, man. But we have to just knowing that, so well then, yeah, we throw away that. As him say, I'm put on the new man, put on the new, be a new creature in a life again, man. Because we can do it.
Yes, King. Yes, I. So,
you know?
yes, I. And one more little question, but like say, how I said, you know, just to relocate yourself is one thing, but like say, if somebody didn't have the opportunity to say go to Bobo Hill or any other camp like that where they could get out of the ways of Babylon and focus more internally, if they didn't have that opportunity, right? But they still they feel like they're connected to Africa. Would you recommend that person come anyway? Can they be like healed of those ways in Africa? You know what I mean? Should they wait until their mind is perfectly right before they come, or is it all right to come but just come with a humble mind and heart to know that you still have work to do in yourself?
Yes, before the organization till sometime where I'm on there and I'm on say, this is it divide more. The organization syndromes among ourselves, because even as a man where I come up in the earth, nobody really want to be in a part of my organization, you know? And being here, this is the organization really divide with more, my lord, you know? So an individual, as I say a while ago again, the individual can purge himself from maybe whatever ways he might carry him or she. Him can really, from him really, he lift up him iris to the Father, really. I say, well then, yeah, I want come out of that vibe. I want eliminate myself from that kind of attitude. Him can do it. He can read, because the Majesty say, the heights that God ordained for man. The heights of God, man can reach it. So, and really merely the organization is the individual concept still, the individual thinking, the individual manifestation where him have within him. It's not really the organization that will make you really be perfect or really cleanse you from whatever faults or whatever ways you really have carry. It's the individual. The individual will carry certain ways within them, and them within themselves know so well then, yeah. We need to shell off that ways, yeah, because my sister well then go, I not bear no fruit with it. It not really, you know, and from him or she really analyze that sister well then, that ways that we not carry. Because as the psalm say, how can a young man or young woman cleanse his or her own way? But by taking heed hereof to the words. So it depends upon the individual to say, I want change my ways. I want let go that ways them. I want really be something else. You know? So the individual will maybe see himself we really not in an organization and he want to come to Africa. Yeah, he would have free same way. You know? But it's just him or she that don't know if you know him so well then that ways that we may carry they know, which maybe it's not good. We need to really eliminate yourself from it. You know?
Yes.
So this individual when not really see himself maybe in an organization or whatever, and him really, but then we still have to come with a collective effort to say, well, to work with each other only if you achieve the goal. Because working together, it's no failure. As we say, you can put one stick and it easily break. You can put 10 stick and it will be difficult to break. Mm-hmm. So if you have 10 good mind, you say, well then, on a positive project or a positive thing, then it can work, my lord. It can work.
Yes.
Because the works that Jamaica and I really accomplish here, as we say in the book, we find the leadership role was lacking in our community. Vision of humanity, we held school, we established security posts when the security never in our community. Security, you couldn't walk the street in a Tashamani. And Jamaica and I established them with the wider human community, my lord.
Yes, so give thanks, Honorable Beriso Babo. Can we purchase the book, and if so, where?
It can be purchased, but we have a brethren who distribute it to family still in England. But it's like him information. Yeah, well, him distribute it for man still. The brethren who print it in England for man still.
So how do we contact him, or what do we need to do to get that book?
Well, I will try get, because the other day through the update of the WhatsApp thing, I kind of lose him number still, but we have a brethren there still, we have a link with him still, so we will try reach out to him to really get that connection there, and because there, as me say, we need intelligence, my lord, and for me, it's not that me a brag or boast about things, but as me say, yes, you take the dog, you take the pig out time wallowing, him go back in it. No, we need to come out of that, come out of that mindset that be something new, as the Majesty said. Will be something bigger and brighter and a brighter outlook in ourselves, my lord. Anyone may quote the Majesty words and things like that, but we're not in parallel with it. We only may quote the word, but we're not in parallel with them words.
Well, yes, King. We give thanks again for the eye time and sharing what the eye knows. And, we will definitely have to continue this reasoning. There's many more things that we need to get from the eye. In this time. So, again, we give thanks, Honorable Beriso Babo. Thank you again for your time and sharing. Until we link again, my Lord. Give thanks.
My lord. May the good Lord bless and keep, because him saying that the last days, mankind, I will die from famine, but not from by the bread, but from the words. And the words where we may speak out to I and I, or that may not fall on deaf ears, because words of our Father, but now in flesh appearing. So one to understand now, so well then, if we wake up now, man, and make ourselves be good people, man, excellent people, as I, man, really open up it and I say, Bakanega Tuftani, Kabajam Tota, Umata, mean excellent people, welcome excellent people, man. They're excellent people, man.
Yes, I. Yes, I.
Yeah, so give thanks again still for the little moment and the little reasoning still, and may the good Lord have a bless and keep same way still. Rastafari.
Give thanks to everyone who tuned in. This is the African Liberation Network. I'm the host, Ja Daniel, and we will be coming forward again with more powerful information. So be on the lookout, like the video, subscribe, share it as many people as you can, so that this information can get out, so that we can make a good, positive impact on Africa and on the diaspora in this time. So, yes, I, Rastafari, blessed love.
My Lord, blessed.
Chant down Babylon,